The EVA 787 long-haul experience is my new, best business class. It is simply spectacular. Hi there, my name is Kevin. This channel came from a love of traveling, a love of the full process and the journey itself. I feature airline trip reports and high-end hotel reviews from all over the world. My reviews aren't sponsored by airlines or hotels, so you can be sure to get my unbiased, honest opinion. Am I an expert? That's for you to decide. Am I fair? Yeah, I am. Let's get into it. Welcome to Vienna. I just landed on my flight from New York on Austrian, and my bags never made it onto that flight. So while you head down to the description to check out what I paid for this flight, or what my next 5 videos are in queue, I'm gonna go and try to find some answers. So, it's not that Austrian's ground staff are bad, it's that they don't exist. After walking around for about 30 minutes trying to find someone that actually worked for the airline, I gave up and I headed to the lounge. So, I had 4 hours in the lounge here. It was clean and had a high quality but small selection of breakfast items. I know this isn't Austrian's flagship lounge, but I was told that this is the one that I should be visiting based on my departure gate. There was an element of the lounge though that did give you an IKEA kids section vibe though. Luckily, I did find a very helpful member of staff. I explained my situation, that I knew my bags were still in New York, and just asked if she could see if there's an update or routing information for the bags. I don't speak German, but the conversation that she had on the phone with the other agent didn't exactly sound hopeful. Some more of that blunt honesty that I do appreciate, and she told me that no, 1/3 of the bags were not loaded onto that flight. Rather, almost none were on the flight. Specifically, she said that one half-full luggage container was on the flight. That's it. She asked me if there was bad weather. I said that it was really cold, but it was crystal clear and actually pretty beautiful. She said Ops was blaming the weather, and that the only thing that I could do now was put in a claim at my final destination, since, as I knew already, the luggage is now the responsibility of the final carrier at this point. Enough of that though, let's get into this amazing flight. EVA Air, a bit redundant since EVA stands for Evergreen Airways, is a Taiwan-based carrier owned by Evergreen Shipping, and began flying in 1991. They currently have 83 aircraft in their fleet, more than 3/4 of them being wide-body, with 17 more on order. They serve 62 destinations from their hub in Taipei and a smaller focus city in Bangkok, serving an impressive 8 North American cities. Interesting fact, Vienna was actually the first European route for EVA. The Bangkok routes were originally necessary prior to the time when EVA was permitted to fly through mainland Chinese airspace. They only began their mainland China flights in 2008. Boarding began right on time, and I appreciate that when I checked in to get a new boarding pass at the gate, there was a member of staff that proactively came over to me when he heard my name and gave me an update about my luggage, confirming it was still in New York, but he was hopeful that it would be put directly onto the Taipei flight leaving from New York that evening. That didn't turn out to be the case, but the simple fact that I knew someone was on top of it, or at least cared about it, gave me peace of mind for the rest of my journey. As for today's flight stats, we pushed back 7 minutes late and cruised near 600 knots for almost 11 hours, as we took the long way to Taipei, but landed 37 minutes early. Stepping on board, I was warmly welcomed by a gaggle of crew, and turning left was almost like stepping into a business class cabin for the first time. It was just so damn sleek and absolutely pristine. This aircraft was 4 years old, but if you told me it rolled off the line yesterday, I would have completely believed you. In 2015, EVA ordered 787-9 and -10 variants, and introduced them along with today's new business class product prior to COVID. Let's take a closer look at the layout. This seat, the Vantage XL, is used by many carriers, but I've never seen it executed this well. Laid out in a single cabin in a 1-2-1 configuration, there are a total of 26 seats. Make sure to pick one of the rows that has seats closer to the window. Row 2 and 5 are the best, as row 7 is missing a window. Measurements across the board are above average, and both the seat and the flatbed feel more spacious than normal. This is an example of the seat further from the window. Note that these seats do have a little bit more storage next to your leg. If the seats look extra stylish to you, well, that's because they are. They were designed by BMW's Design Works, and it's a beautiful mix of that stark but luxurious German aesthetic, but with a distinctly EVA touch. It's just really tasteful and well thought out. Just a friendly reminder that not only was this flight 100% self-funded, but EVA had absolutely no idea I'd be on this flight, or who I am for that matter. In a world where content creators are recognized on the street or in planes every day, I still maintain that I think the only way to give a true unbiased review is to fly anonymously. And so I really do appreciate every like, comment, subscription, or even just a glance at my Patreon, as they all really do contribute to growing the channel and keeping this honest content flowing. A big thanks in advance for watching today. To the sides of your seat is a closable storage area which houses your headphones, amenity kit, and a bottle of water upon boarding. Just in front of that is a newer generation IFE remote, universal outlet, and USB port, and nicely laid out seat controls. There's also another set of controls for easy reach when you're reclined. Loads of legroom too, and I enjoy the angled floor here, which is comfortable as a footrest if you're taller. We've got quite the set of amenities to check out, which we'll do a bit after takeoff. Pre-departure drinks were passed out, along with an alcohol wipe and a wet towel. I actually really enjoy these wet towels. They're pre-packaged, but they are actual real towels. The fog was relentless today, and the very clever safety video began to roll. If you don't want to look at your neighbor's knees, you can adjust your privacy screen as well. Oh, the sun, oh no. We taxied to the runway and lined up for what turned out to be a beautiful takeoff. I promise, it seems like only the airport was in the fog. Spool up and airport stats are also coming up now. Avoiding Russian and most of mainland Chinese airspace really does tack on quite a bit of distance to this flight though. Still a very easy day for a 787-9 though. Let's check out some of the amenities. First up, some really high quality headphones. A bit heavy, but they certainly live up to their name. The tray table popped out like so, and with a little diagram in case you get confused. Plenty sturdy and big for dining or working, or maybe a little bit of both. The now quite famous Jason Wu design pajamas were indeed as well made and comfortable as every other creator has claimed, and these were the best slippers that I've ever received on a plane. Open toe means big feet are welcome. Loved these. The pillow covering wasn't the softest thing on earth, but it was a very firm and comfortable pillow for sleeping. A true high-quality down pillow. The blanket was one of the best that I've had in the air. Honestly, just looking at it now makes me want to take a nap. And then there's the amenity kit. Let me tell you, when it comes to amenity kits, EVA does not play. I don't think I know of any other airline that gives amenity kits that come in dust bags in business class. The contents were just as impressive and thoughtful, little things like that lens cleaner. There was also a separate smaller pouch inside just for the Ferragamo cosmetics. EVA puts a lot of marketing into the fact that they're flying 787s, and personally, I don't think it's necessary, but it is still kind of cool. As drinks were delivered and set up, today's amuse was served. Here's the full menu for today's flight. Note that the prices on the wine list are my addition to give you an idea of the current retail prices in USD. As always, I'm keeping up my reputation, and I inadvertently chose the cheapest wine on the menu, but it was still enjoyable. Place settings were served off of a cart, and I'll note that the attention to detail from all of the crew on this flight was next level, perhaps only second to my experience on Oman Air. While there's technically only one choice for starters, there's also soup and salad. And when it's this good, you don't mind having a single choice. We had a river crab meat and avocado salad with chive oil. As soon as I was done filming it, the flight attendant, who I didn't even notice, asked if I'd like the chive oil poured. This was one of those lick your plate clean category dishes. Next up was a caramelized pea soup with crispy prosciutto. It could have been a touch hotter, but it was delicious. The salad course was up next. I did a double take when it came out and it was put down, thinking that a lot of the lettuce was near brown, but no, that was just the dressing. And I do appreciate that it was plated after being dressed. But next up was the absolute star of the show. EVA has a little-known program similar to Singapore Airlines Book the Cook, where you can select from a few dishes online before your flight. I had a choice of an additional 4 dishes online. I chose the classic pork medallions, served with potato souffle, creamed carrots, and fresh asparagus. This was easily the best Western comfort food dish that I've ever had in the air, and probably top 10 that I've had of this kind of food, period. It was absolutely spectacular. With each bite, I really did have to remind myself that this is real, it was that good. For dessert, we had a trio of coconut milk ice cream, a Mozart tartlet, and fresh fruit. There was also a cheese plate available, but I gotta draw the line somewhere. This is what those prepackaged towels actually look like. After lunch, I guess it was, the flight attendants offered to turn down the beds completely, but I just asked for them to put the mattress cover on and leave the seat upright. It's more of a seat cover than a mattress pad, and the vast majority of them are these days, but I do really appreciate that this one was actually wide enough to cover the entire seat, and it was finished very nicely too. The edges trimmed in the same pattern as the blanket. I made up my bed later on, and here's what it looked like. The bathrooms were absolutely spotless throughout the flight and had premium products on offer. After that, we were, let's say, encouraged to begin converting to nighttime. A quick look at the entertainment system shows a decent selection of movies, but it could be a little bit more comprehensive considering how many long-haul routes that they do have. A few hours of rest later, and it was already time for breakfast. I, of course, started with coffee, which was surprisingly really good, and I love the cup. I can't stand tiny little airline coffee mugs that fit like 3 sips. This was a proper and comfortable mug. Breakfast started off with a fruit plate, yogurt with granola, buckwheat muesli, which was really delicious, and some bakery items. Let me just mention, when you start to fly a lot of different airlines, you can quickly see how some airlines save pennies here and there. So when I see something like French butter on this tray, a very specific brand, and I know that's the only brand that the airline uses, I appreciate touches like that. Last up was a choice of crunchy French toast with apricot ragout and mascarpone, or poached eggs with hollandaise and sautéed spinach. Of course I went for the eggs, and brace yourselves, you may be as shocked as I was to know that these eggs were hot and still had a runny yolk. I don't think I've ever had a proper runny yolk on a plane before. If I had to complain about one small thing, it's that these 787s feature the new darker windows that truly do black out the sun. That's great, but two things. First, it takes a solid 5 minutes for the tint to completely fade, and second, even 10 minutes before landing, a morning landing, the windows were still locked. 2 minutes later they unlocked them and it started the transition. Unlocked just in time for a bit of a peek of the Taiwanese countryside as the sun begins to rise. I'll be the first to admit, it's hard to do flights like these justice in video form. The differences between a 92 or a 95, or especially between a 98 and a 100, you can't really see that. Anything I give a 92 or higher to is a fantastic product for the price. Above 95 is truly exceptional, usually because of great service. And these highest scores I reserve for when the hard product and the soft product are equally spectacular. For this flight specifically, the thing that bumped it up from its original score of 98 to 100 was actually the gate agent, who sought me out to give me an update about my luggage. He didn't have to do that, but it was immensely appreciated. I really do hope that you enjoyed this trip report today. If you did, please subscribe so that you can see my final leg of this trip on an EVA 777 from Taipei to Saigon. Thanks again for clicking that thumbs up button.